We are gathered here today to discuss the brand new limited edition Tom Ford Rose Exposed collection, namely the Rose Exposed eyeshadow palette. It's $100. So I figured you'd want to see it first, and we're going to take a look at that with some comparisons and outdoor swatches and all that good stuff with me, Rebecca. I formed Not Fit for Print Beauty after over 25 years. Feels like 2,500 years, but 25 years in fashion and beauty journalism, working with some of the biggest names in the industry, and bringing Not Fit for Print Beauty here to YouTube was my effort to give you a little beauty magazine that you can kind of watch every day or so here on YouTube. Okay, this is my first official post Christmas video, post Hanukkah beginning video. So merry and happy to everyone who celebrates. And those of you who don't celebrate, I hope you just got some time off work and some relaxing time with family and friends. Okay, so Tom Ford has this new Rose Exposed collection. And Andrew, the wonderful Andrew, told me about it. Andrew, who knows everything Tom Ford and now everything Guerlain, told me it was at Sephora. So I ran over there to get it. And then Michelle over at the Neimans on Michigan in Chicago, she has it if you want to contact her, told me she had the whole collection. So let me tell you what you can get, and I'll put Michelle's contact information there as well. But the first thing that Andrew told me about was this Rose Exposed palette. And it's a real beauty and really, I think, very different for Tom Ford. I'm sure you'll agree. There's also a perfume that looks beautiful. There's some glosses, some lipsticks, things like that. There's more to the collection, but let's talk specifically today about the Rose Exposed eyeshadow palette, limited edition, $100. It's very interesting in the formula. Now this can be really used wet or dry. I've been playing around with it, and it is going to always have this kind of reflective or shiny finish. There's no mattes in here really. It's described as cream to powder, but it is not. It is powder. Okay, it's not his cream formula. And it's embossed with this kind of wild roses. You know, Tom Ford and roses, he has a rose garden. I know Tom Ford is no longer, manning the brand as such, but he has a lot of roses that repeat in his collection. So this would certainly be an homage to that. And this is a really nice pattern that's in there pretty well. I've been swatching the heck out of these shades and using them, and I haven't had any sort of issues with that going away. It's not like an overlay over the top. It really seems to be all the way through. So that's nice. You don't have to just pick an area only to use. But it's really pretty. Now you're going to get a really nice wash of color with it dry, which is how we'll use it today. But I played around with it wet, and it is a bit deeper that way. So let me just kind of show you what I mean, and then we'll take it outside too. Here's the 4 shades, just kind of forget my pinky there. Here we go, and I'm going to just put those onto the back of my hand, just here in studio lighting. You're not going to get a great view of that there, but it's they're kind of pinks and rosy browns, really reddish browns and pink, but not the kind of red that makes your eyes look irritated. It's very pretty on the eyes, which I'll show you here today. But first, let's take this outside into the warm California sunshine. I am a big liar because it is a little bit rainy and cool out here today. I'm sure it was probably, depending on what hemisphere you're in, a cooler holiday season for you guys, unless you're on the other side of the world where it is summer, right? But it's a little cooler here in California. Not for long. Always hot here. This reminds me, this formula, and we have this kind of maroon case. But you know what this formula instantly kind of reminded me of? And I don't know if it's an exact replica of it, but it reminded me of those Lancome palettes. I thought maybe we could compare a little bit here. So let me show you this formula here with, remember the Louvre palette? Which had, let me take the little, there's a similar kind of look to them. And then this season we had another Lancome. These are the bigger Lancome palettes that Lisa Eldridge does for Lancome because she is the kind of global creative director. And these, you remember, I reviewed both of these. They had their own review. But the formula minus that rose imprint, of course. They kind of seem a bit similar to me. In fact, let me roll up my sleeves here. Maybe we'll compare some. I'm sitting at home, some time off for me too, so you're going to just see a bunch of different sweatshirts over these holidays here. But if I look at, say, this shade here, compared with, say, this shade here in this season's Lancome, a little bit different, but somewhat similar, and they kind of feel and swatch the same. So I would say if you are a fan of these shades and this kind of texture from Lancome, if you haven't tried it, then the comparison won't make too much sense to you. But if you have, I find them very similar in performance, in swatches, and in performance. And some of the shades actually look very similar as well. Now, I do all of my shade comparisons over on Instagram. You can catch me on Instagram, TikTok, Threads. We have a Facebook page, you guys. We have a membership here. The Facebook page is being run by Helen, which I really appreciate Helen. She spends a lot of time doing that. But I run the membership here on YouTube that you can join too. All of that information is down below. And everything I'm mentioning here, if you want to peruse or purchase, I will also list that down below. And where I can, up here in YouTube shopping, where I can, so you can click on them there. These to me perform very similarly to those, and I'm going to show you that right here. I do want to try the perfume, but I have to hold myself back. I have Tom Ford's Rose Prick, and I don't know if that's similar to the Rose Exposed or not. I will ask Andrew that. Andrew, remind me to ask you that, because I'm very curious about that. We are going to try this right now. I am wearing, by the way, Unzip on my lips, which is a Tom Ford shade. I'll also put this down below. I've rediscovered it, kind of shopping my own stash, and I'm wearing Unzip. It's like a deep, deep berry, almost like a black berry on my lip and cheeks. And it is, let me just roll it up for you to see here, but I will link that below. And like I said, where I can on screen as well. If I can get that on screen, it's a really pretty one. So we use that on lips and cheeks today, and we are going to try to use all 4 shades of this new Rose Exposed. $100 is very, very pricey. I'm going to take this first shade right here. This is really light, and I'm just going to go over the whole eye. I think we'll end up covering a lot of it up, but even if you use these for kind of one and done shades, look how dreamy that is just on its own as a one and done. Almost giving a duochrome-like effect. It's just very kind of ethereal and beautiful. And now you can see why I compared it to the Lancome, I think anyway. And I'm going to use this same Sonia G brush and go into this shade here and just kind of run that into the crease. Now, we all know that those who know how to apply makeup best say that if you have hooded eyes, like I do, you really should put a matte into the crease. And I do agree with it, but I actually think I can get away with this. It's maybe not the best idea, but I think it's fine. It's just very pretty. You're going to get, if you have a hooded eye, you want to draw back in where the crease should be. I'm going back in here with the steeper shade. But sometimes, rules are made to be broken. Most of the time, those kind of rules do have a semblance of sense to them. So in general, that's true. But we're going to flaunt it for now. Okay, so I'm putting this deepest, darkest shade kind of in the outer V, just a little bit, stamping it in there. This is a very wearable palette for really any sort of skin tone. Now, I am going to switch brushes now. And another Sonia G, this is a Sky brush, to use this last shade here, right in the center of the eye and on the inner corner of the eye. Just pick it up a little bit and give it a little bit more shine. I think this is a really nice start of the year palette. It's kind of Valentine's Day as well. Very dreamy, very romantic. It's a very romantic palette, the whole collection. Roses in general and the deep roses embedded into that palette. But with the formula, yeah, the Lancome is the best I can compare it to. Let's see what else. Maybe a little bit Byredo. I don't, but any sort of these comparisons that you want me to do, either through Tom Ford palettes, putting them head to head, or cross-brand, you can ask me to. I do those all over on Instagram. And the holidays were holidaying this year, so there was 1 or 2 people whose swatches, their swatch requests got lost by my staff. No, I don't have a staff. It's just me. I lost them. So if you did make a swatch request and thought, geez, I think Rebecca forgot me. I didn't forget you. Worse, I lost one or two of them. So just tell me again and I'll be happy to do it for you. I very rarely do that, but sometimes my staff makes a little mistake. But I'll do any others that you need. You can just send me a DM over on Instagram or, you know, whatever you want. Let me know what you need to see. I think this is a pretty one. You are spending $100 on it, so you gotta love it. But I just think it's very versatile. I think we really have kind of, in a way, 4 one and done shades in here, or 2 duos, or as I just did, I used all 4. And I think they go with pretty much any eye shade. You know, it is romantic pinks, so you're not gonna get away from that as we look towards February and spring. You're not really going to get away from that, but it's certainly a very, very pretty palette for a very, very pretty penny. I agree. And I really want to get my sniffer onto the Rose Exposed perfume as well. All right, let me know what you need to see. Let me know any questions you have. I will put Michelle at Neiman Marcus in Chicago. I'll put her contact information down below so that you can hit her up if you're interested in trying any of these and have trouble finding it. I think she can get it for you. So give her a call, tell her I said hello. Meanwhile, I look forward to seeing all of you in the next video. Make sure to share and like. And of course, please subscribe. Coming very, very soon, we will have the Community Best of Beauty Awards. Plus, we've got all sorts of brand new products coming from Chantecaille, from Natasha Denona, from Makeup by Mario, and also, YSL has a new matte inks. You know, I love that. The inks liquid lip, the shiny one, they have a new matte. So we got some of that coming already. The new stuff starts rolling in. There's literally no rest. But I do hope you are getting some rest over the holidays as we head forward into this new year. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. I hope to see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.